going on, y'all? It's your boy, one physical therapist assistant. Another crazy day, man. Another crazy day. Hanging with the legends of America. Hope y'all doing all right today. I got a good lesson for you today, y'all. Oh, man, I learned so much from him, y'all. I ever tell y'all that? I learned so much from him. Hey, yo, look, I was just walking out the door, right? And I got stopped by about 6 nurses and CNAs, okay? 6 nurses and CNAs. A lot of times therapy gets put in between nursing and patients and nursing and CNAs. We get put in the middle of a lot of situations. And I'm on my way out the door. I got put in the middle of a situation. The CNAs, the nurses' assistants, they say, "What's up with this lady?" They stop me, say, "Hey, come here. What's up with this lady, this patient?" I said, "What's going on? What's wrong?" And they said, "She keeps telling us to get her on the toilet, but she's a Hoyer lift." Now, if you don't know what a Hoyer lift, it's basically a human crane. It's a crane that lifts you up and drops you down into a wheelchair from a bed or a bed from a wheelchair. Can it be used for a toilet or commode? Yeah, some facilities do that, some facilities don't. Okay? And apparently this lady in question was previously at a facility that did that lifts you up with the crane and, yes, plops you down on the toilet to use the toilet. It's a lot goes into that. Let me just say, I know probably your brain is like, how the heck you do that? Yes, it's a complicated situation. It's not ideal, but the person in question can hardly stand. Okay, so it's a lot that goes into that. Some facilities choose to do it or have setups, maybe a more updated setup to do it. Some facilities aren't equipped to do that. And since this person was at a place that did it, she expects it to be done wherever she goes. So they are asking me, like, can she do that? She said somebody told them that we can do it. We don't feel comfortable doing it. Yada, yada, yada. It's this big old, and I just said, hey, I'll just tell you. If there's something that your employees, your nurses' assistants, your nurses aren't comfortable with doing, so something that y'all feel is unsafe, not comfortable, and the safety of the patient and the safety or the safety of the workers could be involved, don't do it. Just tell her you're not comfortable. I'm sorry. And that was the end of that. That was my 2 cents. Now, I'm telling y'all this story because the woman in question, I said, can hardly stand, right? Can hardly stand. Needs a lot of help. Needs a human crane to lift her up out of the bed. The woman in question is northwards of 400 pounds. All right. That's the lesson, okay? That's the lesson. Try not to find yourself in a situation like that in the late stages of life where you need to be lifted by a human crane, where you need 3-4 people to help assist you with going to the bathroom from ways that it could have been avoided. That's the lesson. But that's not the overall lesson of this video. The overall lesson of this video is be careful what you accumulate. Be careful. Everything, I told you, I had a patient a while back. He told me everything you own becomes a noose around your neck. That was his words. Probably not the best choice of words, but that was his words. Anything you own becomes a noose around your neck. Let me start by saying, I live in the state of Delaware. There's a lot of farmland. There's a lot of farms. You ride through a lot of farms. I'm from Baltimore City, okay? I'm from a place where I didn't see a lot of farms growing up, and I moved to a place where I see farms all over. Shout out to the farmers. If you're a farmer, if you have family that is farmers, shout out to you. I always tell you, the people who live the longest in life are people who worked on a farm, owned farms, had to deal with farms. I don't know the first thing about farming, okay? The first thing, okay? I wouldn't even know how to milk a cow. I know you squeeze the tits, but other than that, I don't know the first thing about farming. But I met somebody today who does. Okay? I met somebody today who has over 20 years of experience with farming, and she shared some interesting insights with me about farming. All right? And let me break it down. Okay? Now, I just want to premise this by saying there's probably not too many people who are going to watch this who own farms or are thinking about buying a farm. You feel me? And I think I understand why. Now, I met an older lady, pushing 90, nice little lady. Very, very nice, humble little lady. And she said that she owned a farm with her late husband. Second marriage, late husband owned a farm. When she met him, he owned the farm. His farm was his pride and joy. I'm talking day in, day out, toiling, laboring, cows, corn, all of the farm stuff, all the things, all of the farm things he had, all right? She told me that anybody who tells you that owning a farm is a good thing, she said, they are lying to you, Jack. That's how she said it. She said, they are lying to you, Jack. Sweet little old lady. She said it was such a headache. Let me break it down to stuff that she told me, okay? She told me that there are expenses for everything. She said, you think you're going to have cows on a farm? She said, did you know that a cow is like a child, like a literal child? She said, the medical bills are astronomical. She said, they got to be vaccinated. All of the vaccines. She said, with everything going on, all of the diseases and things that spread, all the cows got to be updated on their vaccines. They got to be maintained properly fed. She said that's a fortune in and of itself. Then she talked about the farm equipment. She says always something that breaks down, always something that needs maintenance. She said, and a lot of times the equipment, you don't own it, so you rent it. So you got a bill from that. She said, and if you own it, you got constant maintenance, that you got to keep up with. Like, she just going down the list. It seemed like this farm was a real headache for her. But she said that her husband loved it. She said the amount of debt that they were in. This farm was a business, okay? They were, selling milk and, vegetables and all of that. 300 acres. My bad. That's how big the farm was. 300 acres. Now you tell somebody you own a 300-acre farm in the United States of America, you might think they got something. You might think they got something. She said over 300 acres. She said that the amount of debt that they were in. She said the amount of debt that their farm business was in. She said they weren't making any money. And she said any little bit of money they made went to the farm. Any little bit of money they made went straight to the farm. She said they were drowning. I mean, drowning in debt. That's what she said. She said that for the average person, you see a farm, like right now, right now, I'm riding past farms right now. And when I see that, in my mind, I'm like, oh, that's nice. All of that belongs to someone, right? All of that belongs to someone. And that someone probably can sit back, relax, and let the farm do its farm thing. I don't think we literally think like that, but I think in abstract, we think like that. We see a farm. I think that's the house over there. The people who in that house probably own all these acres. I don't know how many acres it is. It's a lot of acres, okay? And it looks like some stuff just got farmed. Corn or whatever. I don't know, but everything's dead right here. So something just got grown and used and cut, okay? And she told me that you see all of that and you might think that a person is doing good or a person might have a lot of money. She said it is not like that. She said anybody who told you that, they lied to you, Jack. She said there was times that she wanted to cry when she would see like the invoices and the bills that would come in versus the money they were bringing in. And another thing she told me, when it comes to the stuff that you sell from a farm, she was like, it's not like guaranteed. She said, because the prices of everything fluctuates. The prices of milk, the prices of eggs, the prices of, meat. She said the prices go up and down. She says, so while your costs of your maintenance and your cost of your medical bills for all of your livestock, all of that only goes one way. She said all of that only goes one way. This is the lady pushing 90, breaking all these lessons, this wisdom down to me. She said the prices of the maintenance, the medical bills, all of the equipment, that stuff only goes one way, and that's straight up. It only goes up in price. She said, but the money you bring in, she said, that's a big fluctuation because the price of milk can go down, then it can come back up. The price of eggs can go down or come back up. And she was telling me all of the prices of all these things that fluctuates from time to time, depending on what's going on in the world. And she said that can make for unstable income when you're a farmer you're relying on money from this stuff. She said if she had the chance to do it all over again and she met the man that owned that farm, she would have encouraged him to run so far away from it. That's what she said. She said she actually had to get a job, you think back in the old school days, you grew up on the farm, mom don't have to work, mom can just be a homemaker while dad has the farm and kids work on the farm. But she said no. She said she had to get a job as a secretary because they weren't bringing in enough income and they were drowning in debt. And then she said when her husband passed, she definitely didn't want it, so she wanted to sell it. She said selling a farm is not like how you would think. You don't just sell a whole farm. She said she started selling pieces of the farm. There's a business side, there's the land side, there's the animal side, and a person might not want all that comes with that. Or a buyer might not want everything. So she said she sold it by piecemeal. And she said when it was all over, can't remember what year she said she got rid of everything, but she was free and clear from it. The cows, the land, equipment, and she got everything and she was done with the farm. She said she had a check for about $10,000 from a 300-acre farm. $10,000. She says the good thing that she had pension from her job because that really kept her afloat. And she never spent a lot of money. And she was like a frugal type person, but she said that really kept her afloat because she got basically nothing from that farm. So this is a valuable lesson here, y'all. It's a valuable lesson here in this thing, all right? You have to be careful when you're trying to keep up with the Joneses, or if you see somebody who you think might be doing better than you, might have something that you don't have, you see something you might think, oh, that would be nice to have. I don't care. Leave the farm part out of it. You can insert a big house, a camper, a trailer, a nice big car, luxury car. You can put anything in there. The thing is, like the dude said a while back, anything you own becomes a noose around your neck. Everything has to be maintained. Everything has to be maintained. Everything has to be, worked on. If you're going to own a farm or own a bunch of animals, they all have to be cared for medically vaccinated and all of that good stuff. This stuff adds up. So the premise, the goal is to just understand or try to understand a little bit better about what you're getting yourself into, where you're making a nice big purchase. You see a nice big shiny house that looks wonderful inside. You don't think about what comes in about 5 to 10 years of living in that house. You don't think about everything that breaks, cracks, mold, all of that stuff. Whew. So anyway, y'all, that's the lesson. A nice farm story, but that farm story can be applied to other things, other aspects. You feel me? But that was I told her, I thanked her. Her daughter was there. I met her daughter, and I took her back to her daughter, and she's like, "Yep, I told her my farm horror story." Her daughter just like rolled her eyes, like, "Oh my, come on." But no, I told her. I said, "Thank you for sharing this story with me. I resonate with that story, with seeing the things that I've seen. Sometimes I think we look at people who might have something and we might think, oh, that's nice. But we don't know what comes with that nice. There's a lot of extra that comes with that nice. Sometimes it might be better just to keep it nice and simple. 300-acre farm. She said if she could go back, she would run so far away from that farm. Drowning in debt. That was her exact words. Drowning in debt. But anyway, that's the lesson for the day, man. Take it how you will. Apply it to different aspects that you might, come across. Just remember, my man said everything you own becomes a noose around your neck. Oh man, but anyway, y'all, again, it's good to be back. It's good to be back. Hope y'all are doing okay, man. Hope y'all doing all right. I'm coming along. But as always, man, make sure you respect your elders. Make sure you respect them. Help them out whenever you get a chance. Help anybody, man. We all need help. Help people whenever you get a chance. And I'll holler at y'all in the next video.